What is up guys, Wraec is here with a new video, and today I want to talk about raid ups a little bit more specifically around hype and heroes. Well, because the real thing is, I kinda like when there is a big hype around a hero. A lot of people like that, because you can check out videos, have some fun with it, summon the hero yourself, get excited for getting maybe 1 or 2 copies and then using the hero in game and being successful with it really. So that is always something cool. And the thing is, we didn't really have that too much. We had some cool heroes, we have a lot of heroes actually now, and we also had some strong ones in the past. We had Fresto, and now we had Almost. Almost didn't get too much hype, but we tried him 2 videos ago actually. I showed the team that I use in PvE at the moment with like Almost, Iron, Carolina, Arden and Hewin, and he was quite effective there because it's this nice CC support that is actually very, very good. But there was no hype around him. And I thought, well, how can you create hype around a hero and what would be a good way to do it? And one thing that obviously comes to mind is when a hero is very, very strong, people will be hyped about it. For the first few minutes at least, because, well, there are some disadvantages to that. If you have a hero that is very, very strong, he will enter a lot of teams, and that might actually make the meta kind of stale because he's in too many teams. And one example we actually have in the game for that is Iron. Iron is used in a ton of PvE content if you build a burst team. He's also used in most players' PvP teams actually. And a lot of people are annoyed because when you enter like Arena and you check out the lineups other people play, well, I don't even have to stage it in any way. There's an Iron team, there is an Iron team, and there is an Iron team too. So if we refresh, we'll find even more Iron teams. And that is kind of sad. And that is something you really don't want, because people get annoyed by that. And they don't want to see one hero at too many points. But when you can't really make a hero OP, what is the other option to create hype? Well, you have to make the hero desirable in some other way. Either through a mechanic that is not yet in the game. For example, Ulmus, in that sense, has this CC support, which is very cool. We can utilize that to build new teams. It's kind of nice. But that really doesn't guarantee hype, because people might overlook it or think the stats around that and the hero around that is just too weak in comparison. And then you don't really generate too much hype. The other option is something that was done in a game also from this developer, AFK Arena. A lot of you guys have actually played it, and I haven't personally, but I know what they do is they have like collaborations with popular shows, with popular games even, and then they release the hero from the show or game or whatever as a hero for the game, for the so-called dimensional faction. And one example of this we can look at right now is probably the most recent one of those. And this was the announcement for AFK Arena X. That time I got reincarnated as a slime, which is a popular anime. I have watched it actually, it's quite good actually, I have to say. It's quite fun to watch. And there are 2 characters here that we see. The one is Rimuru, that we have here, and the other one is Shuna, associate, a friend of Rimuru, and they are both coming to AFK Arena as heroes. I think at this point they are in the game, and you can play them in game, you can choose them as characters, and they have certain abilities that are of course also associated with the anime. We can watch a little video in a second of at least Rimuru in game. And they are quite fun, and I think, like, if Rimuru was an AFK journey as a summonable hero, I would make a big live stream, summon him, and we'll have a lot of fun enjoying this guy in-game, trying to build a few teams. Would be very cool. Let's check out the video, though. And what we're going to see is just some general combat, and then the ult. And if you guys have seen the anime, then you of course know this scene that was used for his ult, and that is basically his ult. Very nice effect there. So there is his ult, and of course if you watched it you know where this scene is from. Very powerful ability, at least in the anime. So very nice actually, and obviously something to be hyped about. And that wasn't the only character they released. There was, for example, Ainsul Gon that was released. That was also a popular character. They also sometimes take characters from games. Geralt from The Witcher was there, which I think is very, very exciting. It's very, very cool, because that is also one of my favorite games that I played. And sometimes even game heroes, we can say, probably, yeah. Merlin, the wizard, was even released. So sometimes even stuff like this, which is also pretty cool. I think that would be very, very nice for AFK Journey. And then I thought, well, which character would be great for it? And I looked at the list. Usually those heroes are in a separate faction. They are in a so-called dimensional faction, which we don't have yet in this game. And I thought, well, the other option is of course to associate them with some of our existing faction. We of course have Celestials, Hypogeans, the Graveborn, and all of our other factions here as well. And the faction that came to mind first was really Graveborn, because, well, you can just compare this. Those are our Graveborn heroes, and if I now go for Lightbearer, well, there are a few more. So Graveborn really doesn't have a ton of heroes yet. We don't know what the theme of the next season is, but maybe it's Graveborn. I don't know. If they would be Graveborn, I thought, well, would be nice to have a character for that. Of course, Eins Urgon would fit into Graveborn. Absolutely, no problem. Basically, we also already have AFK Eins Urgon from Wish, so we could get real Eins Urgon, no problem. But there is another character that I thought would be really, really cool and would be very, very nice if they released it into Graveborn faction, and would definitely create some hype, I think. So let's look at the guy. And there it is. Kaiju number 8. That was my first thought. Just have this picture. I didn't find any video that I could use. But if you guys have watched that anime, definitely go for it. You will be treated with wonderful cliffhangers and have to wait for a week for the next episode, which is horrible. But there is the next episode tomorrow, so that's pretty good. Kaiju number 8. Very, very strong character. Is actually probably one of the strongest punches in anime, I reckon. Well, there's One Punch Man, I guess, but beyond that, a very, very cool character, and of course he has this Graveborn look. And around this time, one of the more hyped animes, I guess, and so would be pretty nice to see this guy maybe as like a promotional hero. Imagine this guy in the new season as the first hero they do the promotion with, and then we get like a Graveborn season, where we have a Graveborn area and you go in there and you can fight with Kaiju number 8 or use him as a hero. That would be just insane. That would be something that I think would be very, very cool. On top of that, we really don't have a hero like this yet. I mean, we have Salazar, who is mostly a frontline hero, who is really an attacker, and Thorin. The rest of the heroes from the Graveborn faction are a little bit different. We of course have Sylvina, who is, well, backstabbing the enemy in the same way probably that Igor does it, jumping around his tombstones. They are a little bit more of the backstabber kind. Not really the hero, just delivers a huge frontal punch. And I think in that sense, Kaiju number 8 would fit into Graveborn quite well, on top of his design, of course. The question would be if it would be a regular raid up or some other way to summon it, but I think that would be really, really cool. The question, of course, that remains is, would you like to see Kaiju number 8 in AFK Journey? Is there another hero that you would want to see in this game? Maybe another collab that they could do? Tell me down below in the comments, and with that, I wish you a great day. We'll see us in the next one.